Peace family, Vie Darling, the Cosmic Queen and your intergalactic interpreter. And I have a channeled message coming through. So I'm going to use my unsacred oracle deck to help with this, because it is about the Prince of Darkness and Manichaeism, or I think it's manic. That is such BS. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on in like the world right now, but I just feel like there's a lot of nonsense happening. And that I think does have to do with this channeled message. So this is like, I am making this message on the 29th of August 2024, and oh my goodness, hurry the fudge up. Yeah, 2024. And there are a few things that I have to say about this message. I keep getting 𝗪𝗪𝗀, which is the Prince of Darkness. As I said, I keep hearing it. El means no, Lord. 𝗪, I'm assuming, means darkness. So it's like Dark Lord. In Manichaean cosmology, the world of darkness, which invaded the world of light, and a lustful desire to mingle with the light, is ruled by 5 evil archons: demon, dragon, eagle, fish, and lion, who together make up the Prince of Darkness. And I'm gonna say this, I believe that like this lustful desire to mingle with the light is true. There's a desire to integrate with the light in a sense that's just like longing for oneness, and then there's a desire to fornicate essentially and desecrate and defile. And I definitely am picking up just this nasty fucking energy. Demon, dragon, eagle, fish, and lion. I know that the eagle is related to Scorpio. I know that the fish is related primarily to Pisces, and lion is primarily related to Leo. Demon and dragon, I can't be too sure about. I'm not too sure about. Dragons, I know, are related to the North and South Node. Those are like the karmic dragons. But demon, I don't know. That could be, it could be Mars. But the point is for sure that they are inversions. They are the shadow versions of those signs. And the Prince of Darkness, they are working together. So there's not just one, there's multiple. And that's 5 different collectives. I want to like put that out there. So if it's like, oh, this person doesn't feel like if you have encountered someone and you think that they might like be a part of this like collective, or they might have this energy, whoever is coming to mind really while you're hearing this message, if it resonates, whoever's coming to mind, that is likely who it is. So if you've been already thinking about this, use this as confirmation. Great gods, guides, and ancestors, I ask you to clarify any and all messages, revelations, declarations you would like me to share with the collective. Clarify my mind, body, and spirit, that I may be a perfect vessel for your word, and allow me to communicate what it is you would have me communicate, reveal what it is you'd have me reveal, and minister what it is you'd have me minister. So gods, guides, and ancestors of the ancestral land stewards of the land upon which I am on, and those of my lineages. Yeah, so have I spoken, so shall it be. Yeah, so if you, this is confirmation, like if you have already, you already know who it is. If this is something that like you've already been sensing, they are of these lineages, basically. They are of these collectives, basically. So yeah, and if it's like, oh, I feel like there's multiple people, well, there are multiple enemies. So take that as it resonates. Take that as you will, is what I'm hearing. And I'll also say, I believe that today Venus moves into the sign of Libra. Thank God. It moves into the sign of Libra in the 11th house and out of Virgo, which was like, if your money has been messed up, that's why. But this is a timeless reading. So yeah, this is to say, if you're not watching this when I post it, within the next couple of months, you like all of the lack of a lack of prosperity that you've been experiencing is going to come to an end. When they say it was written in the stars, that's really like what they mean. And I don't understand how people who like claim to believe in prophecies, like, where do you think that that stuff is kept? Where do you think that those things are written? If it's destined to come true, if it's ordained to come true, where the fuck do you think that shit is written? In the fucking stars, bro. That's the point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy to me, the level of cognitive dissonance these people who claim to like really love the word of God, how like ignorant they are. And I feel like it's okay to be mad about that, because usually those people are incredibly violent and harmful. But the point is, transcending that annoyance at that like ridiculousness, it's written in the stars. It's coming true for you no matter what. So I would really recommend, in fact, for you to relax. Like, yeah, things are not maybe going the way that you want them to go, but the sooner that you relax, actually the more ease that you embody, the more ease you're going to experience, obviously. That's just like the logical conclusion. The same way, like, if you're not willing to live your dreams, how the fuck are you going to live your dreams? What is living? What is the content of your life? The sum of your actions, your experiences, what you do. So if you're not willing to do what you got to do to live the life that you want to live, how the fuck are you supposed to live it? Like, oh, it's just going to happen. Meanwhile, you are actively going against it happening. You're actively making moves to ensure that it doesn't happen. This message is very important for somebody. Like, I've made this example before. If you want to be a singer, right? A famous singer, but you don't ever sing. You don't practice your vocal lessons, which is free on YouTube. You don't ever pursue even figuring out how, like, the career steps to becoming a singer. Maybe the barriers that, like, you're afraid that people in your community are gonna laugh at you because before, when you used to sing when you were young, they didn't fuck with it and they like talked down on you or whatever. This is just to say, like, whoever this message is for, that karmic community that you were a part of, don't concern yourself about what they think about you. Honestly, I would encourage you to consider, what do you really think about them? Because chances are you're telling yourself that you think one thing, but you've really been denying what you really think. Because what you really think this is for, take it as it applies, whoever this is for, you're gonna know it's for you because you're gonna resonate with this. You don't even fuck with these people. You don't respect these people's opinion. You don't think that they have taste, that they have class, that they have, a discerning palate. So why are you worried about what they think about if you go out and you become a singer or you become a chef? You feel me? They are trying, misery loves company. Demons try to body jump. I tell y'all this all the time. Like, they're just trying to keep you down because they don't want to see you rise, because that's going to reflect back to them the truth, which they can't face. And the truth is that, one, they're living a life of fear, And that's that's something they have to be accountable to. That's their responsibility. They can't blame anybody else. That's the biggest thing that people don't want to admit, is that there's no one to blame. When you're a fully grown autonomous adult, there's no one to blame. I have said this also time and again. I've lived in New York City for 12 years. I moved here when I was 17 years old on August 8th, 2012. And I have lived in this city pretty much since then. I've lived in a couple other places for brief periods of time, but overall I've lived in New York. And I've had a lot of experiences, you know, and not all of them good. A lot of them were really fucked up. But overall, I have to remind myself consistently when things are not going the way I want them to, because I'm simply co-creating with the universe. Like I said, some stuff is written in the stars, okay? I'm simply co-creating with the universe. I'm not in charge. I have agency, I have free will, I have a say, and I have impact, but I don't control the universe. I cannot force anybody to do anything that they're not going to do. Even with magic, people try to do, like, to control others with magic. Don't you see people who are blessed and highly favored? Their spirit team knocks that shit down. How many people have tried to do death spells against me? I'm still fucking alive, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel whoever this message is for you, this is the same thing. It's the chosen one collective. You already know what it is. People have probably, and I do pick this up, whatever Prince of Darkness energy, this is like a false counterpart energy. It may seem on the surface that this person is everything that you've ever wanted, but in reality, this person, like, on the surface, I said, not the substance of their character, that is not something that you want, and you know this, but you're looking for there's like, there is programming that is active right now that is telling you excuses for why you should still accept this person. And it could be just lust programming, but also it's I do get the sense that it's false Pleiadian programming, where it's like, oh, but you know, they can change. It's shadow Neptune energy. Shadow Neptune, shadow Virgo energy. Like, oh, but like, you know, maybe my influence on them can help them to change. If that's what you're thinking, I want you to really look back on if that ever actually worked. Because if that's what you're thinking, guarantee you that that's something that you've tried to do. And we've already talked about this, like, in previous readings. That is disrespectful. If you're not willing to be with somebody exactly the way that they are forever, you shouldn't be with that person. It's disrespectful to try and change people. Let people be who the fuck they are. They have agents. Like I said, they have agency and free will. It's not your place to infringe upon that. It's not your place to decide who somebody else gets to be, because that's just a distraction from us doing the work to become the person we want to be. And I know I don't like it when people try to infringe upon my rights. It's not cool for me to do that to anybody else. That's why I try to tell you, if you don't fuck with people, don't fuck with them. That's the most respectful thing that you can do. Dead ass. If you cannot, like, vibe with somebody, don't vibe with them. It's fine. That's the most respectful thing that you can do. That's the most unconditionally loving. Because if it's contingent upon a false reality that doesn't exist, that you're projecting, that you want to control and manipulate, yes, manipulate. You want to manipulate somebody else's timeline, trajectory, and experience. That's fucked up. That's not unconditionally loving. That's conditional. My relationship to you is conditioned upon you going along with this timeline that I've created and designed, because in my megalomania, I think that I'm God and I'm in charge and I know what's best for everybody, even though I don't even know what's best for me, and I'm clearly not doing what's best for me. You feel me? This is the internal dialogue that runs in the subconscious, that is precognitive. proto-intellectual, if you will. Because a lot of the time when we're just running on codes, we don't even know that we're doing these things until someone reflects it back to us. So if you're not willing, essentially, and this is why it's important to have therapists. You know what I mean? It's important for me. I find it very important to also have like my spiritual healers and practitioners, and also to have friends who are solutions oriented, who reflect back to me the truth. There are things that I can't see about myself, and my friends are able to say, oh, I noticed this thing, and they're able to do it in a trauma-informed way. But I tell you what that shit is, that's codependency. I made a reading about this yesterday. It was meant to be like an inspirational reading if you're having like struggles, like if you're feeling depressed in the doldrums. It was meant to clarify and fortify, and I do feel like it was effective in that sense. Maybe that is the reading that you need to go watch as well. But that's some maladaptive Neptunian energy, maladaptive Venusian energy, and in a way also maladaptive Jupiterian energy. And this means that your Saturn is out of balance. So what I would recommend to you, because hi, I'm Vie Darling, your cosmic queen, the cosmic queen, and your intergalactic interpreter. And I'm so sorry. Mercury retrograde has me like all the way fucked up, and I like cannot remember my words. And my brain is so foggy, and also I like woke up and I've been feeling sick. So let me try and remember what I got to tell you. Welcome to the Aetherium, the home of cosmic wellness, which is a spiritual practice that I've been pioneering over the past I want to say 6 years. And it is a spiritual practice that contextualizes our place within the macrocosmic universe, and then microcosmically in our personal lives. It is built upon a foundation of spiritual abolition, which really finds itself, it's a shadow work practice that really finds itself in decolonial abolitionist theory that I am, like I said, pioneering. And in that sense, it also helps my clients and our community, our collective, to develop self-sovereignty, to masterfully co-create our experience to the fullest extent, really. And so I do this thing, chart healing. I want you to be able to look up this stuff in your chart all by yourself. You shouldn't need me to be the person who tells you all this stuff. This is really important too, because whoever I'm picking up on, you don't trust yourself. You know that you have powers. You know that you're psychic. You know that you have intuitive abilities that go beyond the scope of what is normal. Because yes, everybody is intuitive. We have human bodies, animal bodies, that pick up on that precognitive information, the sensory information. It doesn't need to be processed actively through our brains, because that's always running in the background. You don't taste something, and usually most people don't taste something and actively think about every taste that they are experiencing. You don't generally feel something and be actively thinking about exactly what you're feeling, in terms of I don't know, if you caught on fire. Your brain and body know that you're on fire. You know that you're in panic mode. You're gonna have to do whatever you have to do to not be on fire anymore. It's programmed into your basal ganglia, which I talked about in last week's The Mysteries newsletter. It's linked in my description box if you want to go and read that. You sign up for the channel, you have the ability to have a 7-day free trial of the premium tier, which is called The Mysteries, and you can read in that time all of the newsletters that are behind the paywall. But that one was for the week of August 18th. I talk about that. So you might want to go read that as well. But whoever I'm talking to, you don't trust yourself. You don't believe yourself. And even if you do, like, this is just confirmation. This is who you used to be, and you're no longer that person. And so what I'm picking up on is, yeah, like, this person is good on paper, and of course they're shiny as fuck. I've talked about this before as well. Shiny people. I used to have shiny object syndrome or shiny things syndrome, which is like, because I was very much in a runner-chaser dynamic, I was running from myself, so I was chasing external relationships that would be altogether unfulfilling and ultimately, because that would be a good distraction from actually having to turn around and face myself and do the inner work, which is a great form of self-sabotage if you never want to live the life of your dreams. And so, yeah, I was like super into like what we call fuckboys. And like, because I'm pansexual, also people who are assigned female at birth. But basically people who are just emotionally unavailable, emotionally immature, very insecure and self-conscious, but also, you know, on the outside, very shiny, usually very good looking, probably have a lot of clout, maybe even be famous, maybe have a lot of money. I don't know, sometimes. But inside they're just fucking terrible, you know? And it's not even so much about like being empty, rather like actually genuinely being really selfish, self-serving, self-seeking, disingenuous, obsessed with external validation, the kinds of people who use people. I'm not that kind of person. So it's baffling, right? It's cutting and baffling why I would be like in relationships with these kinds of people. And it's because I was self-abandoning. So of course the universe is going to reflect back to me that self-abandonment with these people who are also self-abandoning, because also they were always very deep people. I am definitely seeing like fallen ones, decrepit, like unsacred death, zombie shit, vampire shit. Like these people I'm seeing, honestly, some of these people already sold their soul as confirmation for somebody. Some of these people already sold their soul. Some of these people are of fallen lineages. I am picking up for someone who like has sold their soul. They had a sense that that's what they were doing, but they spiritually bypassed. Cognitive dissonance will fuck you up, bro. They spiritually bypass because they like to pretend to themselves that shit is not what is. They like to pretend that shit is not really what it is. You feel me? Like they know if this person is in the entertainment industry, the record industry, they know that, okay, so this is what I'm picking up. Yeah, this like collective, this coven, perhaps even, they know that they have gifts and powers. They can see shit. Like they know that whole world that we exist in is real and that they exist in it, but they've always straddled the line. They have one foot in, one foot out. Trust me, this is the kinds of people that I like oftentimes dated. Honestly, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I can't stand that shit. Like I cannot. But I was also the same way, if not like to a less intense degree. Like I was the same way. I was still trying to live a mundane life despite the fact that like I knew that wasn't real. And yeah, this person knows, like maybe they've been in the record industry or the entertainment industry, what have you, and take it as it applies to yourself. Be discerning. If it's not that and it's some other industry, whatever, you know what I mean? Take what resonates and leave the rest. whatever industry they're in, they've been in it for a minute, and you know, they've had proximity to dark dealings, they've witnessed dark deals, they've heard about shit, but they just felt like that could never happen to them. You know what I mean? They just thought that like they were really like popping like that, they got it like that, whatever. Like they're not really checking for that, because they're like, I've gotten this far without having to do any of that stuff. I'm gonna get even further without having to do any of that stuff. But because of their arrogance, go ahead and read the week of August 25 for the mysteries to know about the arrogant. Because of their arrogance, that is their hubris. Pride comes before the fall. They got some really big deal. Oh, shit. Yeah, bro. They got some really big deal that was like an initiation in and of itself. And they've been going through initiations that they weren't even aware of. And now they have been indoctrinated, is what I'm hearing, into this cult of darkness. If you feel like they've been pulling on your energy a lot, it's because they think that you can save them. I don't know if they even really recognize what's going on still at this point in time. I'm going to pull up the chart for today just because it's helpful for me to look at the chart. For the day, I'm pulling up Venus entering Libra because, yeah. So that's 13:23 Greenwich Mean Time. And I use 00 coordinates. So if you want to look at the chart as well, you can do that. Sorry. By the way, if you're watching this when I'm recording it, there's a lot of throat chakra purging and clarification that's going on. It's been going on for a while. This whole past week, like my voice has been cracking. Simultaneously, my singing voice has been like a lot better than it's been for a while, because we've been going through these throat chakra cleansings and purifications. But like other people I know are experiencing the same thing. A lot of people have been getting sick. That for certain people, Chosen One Collective, that is your body. Like if you've been experiencing the purging in the 5D and in the 4D, like in the ethers, that is the manifestation of it in the 3D, is like getting sick. I have a sore throat. It's getting sore anyway. My friend, who's also part of the Chosen Collective, has a sore throat and is like, I guess has no other symptoms of being sick. I took 2 COVID tests. I don't have COVID. On the record, I've never actually had it, but I may have had it when it first came out and we didn't know about it yet. But I say that to say, sometimes these things are spiritual. They're not like, oh my God, I didn't wear my mask, or like, oh my God, like whatever. It's really just that your body is purging all of this shit. And sorry, like there's so much pressure on my eyes, and I know that that has to do with like my ajna has been clarifying as well. Mucus, because my throat is sore, so that means that there's drainage. Mucus, if I'm remembering correctly, within like traditional Chinese medicine, is associated with fire. So it could be like there's a lot of fire purifying like your head and your throat. If you have a lot of like, if you might have like a head cold or congestion or anything like this, make sure that you do your best to get it out of you. Like blow your nose, cough that shit up if you can. Don't do that shit around people, because that, I can't stand that. Like that's so gross to me. Y'all know I'm a 𝗪𝗪𝘁, so I'm a water elemental. We are hyper hygienic. Like literally, I used to cry if I had to like, you know, use a porta potty, or like if I had to like touch hair, I would cry. Because I just really could not fuck with that. We experience the sensory world in a very different way than like the mundanes, the earth elementals, the fire elementals, the air elementals. Fire elementals, like, you can, like, in my tradition in 𝗂𝗲, you can't go to your altar if you're menstruating. So my teacher is like, but if fire elementals do not give a shit, like, they don't care if you're bleeding, because it's seen as unclean, which I understand. I used to be like, that's like anti-feminist, but actually no, it's not. Like, your body is actually purging out waste, and it is unclean. And yeah, our blood, like, when we're pouring libations, our blood, our prana, our chi, our like primal energy, our essential energy is mixing with the libations that we're pouring, and we're pouring that into the river, if you will. And if it has waste in it, that is putrefying, basically. So that's something that I downloaded ever since I started pouring libations, I think almost 3 years ago. But yeah, water elementals do not fuck with blood. Like, they're very pure, like, very pure. But the fire elementals, they don't give a shit. They're like, whatever. Why was I talking about that? Oh, so if you're sick, I just asked my teacher, like, does it matter if you're sick? But we're cleansing right now. If your cycle started early, which I definitely think that my cycle is going to start early because I'm feeling the symptoms, like, they said I don't have a fever, but I know that I'm overheating. So those are some other symptoms that, like, I've been experiencing this week. Like, and people have reported back to me that they're experiencing these kind of symptoms as well. I, like, have been really, really tired. I wouldn't say that I've been irritable so much, but I am growing more irritable. That's definitely true. I lied. I've definitely been more irritable. And I, like, went to the park the other day to read, and I was fine. And then, like, I definitely got enough sleep. Like, everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, when I was, like, reading at the park, I just got hit with this wave of absolute exhaustion. Something's purging out my throat as we speak. I got, it's like drainage. Oh my God. It's very uncomfortable. I got hit with this wave of exhaustion, and, like, yeah, in that moment, I also became super irritable, and, like, my body started, like, overheating, and yeah, I was just, like, getting super hot, whereas, like, the whole time, the sun was setting, mind you, so it wasn't like, oh, the sun was getting hotter, it was heating up. No, like, my body specifically was heating up, and I channeled, like, oh, I'm, like, activating new light codes, so this makes sense. And even just, like, walking home, like, was completely overstimulating. Like, I was, like, overstimulated like that. I've been overstimulated all week to begin with. And yeah, my eyes, I've just felt a lot of, like, pressure on my eyes the past few days, and I do think that this has to do with ajna. That's your third eye chakra. It's in the center of your forehead, but it also goes down as low as your eyes. And right now I feel like I have to, like, close my eyes and press on them because, like, they are so sensitive right now. And these are the activations. This is what I'm trying to tell you, is, like, if it's happening in the unseen, it has to happen in your actual, like, physical body, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, obviously. And so just hold space for that right now. Drink a lot of water. I've been drinking a lot of water with a lemon, but I would also encourage you to make what I refer to as, like, fire tea or fire lemonade. Use a pineapple, specifically. Clean very thoroughly the skin of a pineapple. Cut it off of the pineapple, put that shit in the pot with black pepper kernels, not the powder, but the kernels, stick of cinnamon, not the powder, but the stick. Always use the full things because you're making a tea essentially here, a potion essentially here. Cinnamon, put a lemon, don't put the lemon skin. Do not put the lemon skin in there. Put a lemon. Put the turmeric. What I'm going to encourage you to do is chop some turmeric, not crazy. You're not making a paste. If you can get the root, go to Whole Foods. You can get the root at Whole Foods. If you live somewhere mad random, like, you can order dried turmeric online and you can use that. But yeah, chop it just so that it, like, the water gets to the essence to draw it out when you're boiling it. Do the same with ginger. Echinacea, elderberries. I really wish I brought my herb bin. I have like my apothecary bin in my storage unit and it's far away, so I can't get it. But yeah, elderberries. I might have some blends here that I have to look through, but yeah, chop the pineapple. You're going to put some of that in there as well, especially for sweetness and for taste. It's going to be very helpful. You can put orange, but honestly, I wouldn't suggest it. I don't love that. What I would recommend, I'll say a little bit later what I would recommend in terms of like orange. But yeah, echinacea, elderberry, you may want to do rosemary, but that's what I'm picking up. So you'll do that and you'll boil that. The water's going to turn orange. You're going to boil that until it's all like, all of the essence has been drawn out of the ingredients. The water should be orange, like very bright, frankly, from the turmeric. And you're gonna drink that. I would recommend to mix that while it's hot still with Manuka honey. You want to get like a high grade Manuka honey. Plus 25 is going to be on the outside. If it's some plus 10 type shit, that's going to be cheaper, yes, but it's not as high grade. It's not as high quality. You're not going to get those medicinal effects. Yes, you can use regular honey, but once again, you're not going to get those same medicinal effects. If you are suffering from allergies, you should use local honey as well, because that's going to help essentially do a natural vaccination with the from the pollen that's causing your allergies. What else? Yeah, so mix it with the Manuka honey. It's going to come from New Zealand. It doesn't come from anywhere else. So if it's saying that it's coming from anywhere else, don't get that. You can order this stuff on Amazon. You can get it at Whole Foods. I'm sure you could even order it on Walmart.com. So really, there's no excuse. Like, if you have the ability to get this stuff, just get it. You know what I mean? Just get it. And these are things that you always want to have on hand. You always want to have this kind of stuff on hand. I would also recommend oil of oregano. I would also recommend eating raw garlic. If you're experiencing like any reproductive organs, if you're experiencing any type of like imbalance in your biome, in your microbacteria, we're all adults here, so I'm going to speak plaintively. If this is something that makes you giggle, I suggest that you go back to the first grade. If you are having symptoms of a yeast infection, people who have a male reproductive system also experience them. They just don't have as obvious symptoms as people with a female reproductive system, but I would definitely recommend eating garlic for that, and like really going ham with the probiotics as well. You might do apple cider vinegar shots, but I mean, that's helpful. That's definitely helpful. And what you can do if you want to do that, you can also do this with just straight up lemon juice. That's when you want to make the turmeric into a paste, and you want to make the ginger into a paste. You can do this in a food processor. You can do this in a mortal pestle, but I would recommend a food processor. You mix these things into a paste, put it in the lemon juice. I would say do like a dropper full of oil of oregano as well. And that's when you can also put some honey in that. And it's apple cider vinegar or lemon juice or both. Go ham, do whatever you got to do. You might want to put chlorophyll in that as well, and just do that as a wellness shot, okay? You may also want to do a wheatgrass shot with like some added chlorophyll, because I'm definitely picking up a need for more like green, more green. I'm also hearing vitamin E, vitamin D, obviously vitamin C. But so back to the juice or the orange, if you want to do orange, which I do actually recommend, especially because this feels like some sacral chakra stuff, but this is very much in the head, this is very much in the throat, and I do feel like there is some clarification and purging going on with the sacral, which is why I said you might be getting your cycle early, or you might be on your cycle. What I would recommend is juice an orange, juice a carrot, a lemon, turmeric, ginger, and celery, and bang that shit back. That'll be really helpful for you. You may also want to do like a beet, a cucumber, a lemon, and celery, and that's going to be purifying for your blood. Blood purification is definitely happening right now. 𝗪𝗪𝘁𝗀𝗪, I think I talked about that. Like, that may have been in one of my sessions with a client, but that was a couple weeks ago, so it's still relevant. 𝗪𝗪𝘁𝗀𝗪, I have a blood purification tea in my apothecary, but I'm not operating the apothecary right now. I will be again soon, but not at this exact moment. Yeah, 𝗪𝗪𝘁𝗀𝗪, which tastes terrible, so you only really use a small amount of it. You can like mix that with your tea that I mentioned, the fire tea. 𝗪𝗪𝘁𝗀𝗪 and passion flower, yes, but hibiscus is definitely clarifying for the tea, for the blood. And what I would also recommend is a salt bath. If you can soak in Epsom salt and Himalayan pink sea salt, I really recommend that you do, not just like using it as a scrub, but like, I mean, you can make a scrub with like coconut oil and those kinds of salts. You can definitely do that and just like scrub your body, but I feel like a soak in the bath is also going to draw out a lot of that energy. Let it drain out of the tub, and then like do a spiritual wash on the tub, because otherwise that energy is in the tub. What is also happening right now is because of all of the purging that's going on, I want to encourage you for the next 5 to 7 days, be very mindful about where you're going and who you're going with. I wouldn't recommend going out to like nightclubs. I wouldn't recommend going really to bars and shit. Like, I would recommend keeping a low profile, being very mindful when you're out and about in public. If you can cover your head, keep your head covered. Don't leave the house without like doing your energetic protections. Sometimes I'll do like angel wings, my wings, like shielding me, and then other times I'll do a big bubble like force field. And yeah, just make sure you're doing whatever you can to like keep your energy like contained and like keep other energies away from you, because it's a lot of energy vampires. These demons try to body jump, like I said, so they're being purged and they're looking for a vessel to hop into. So there also might be a lot of attacks, like low vibrational Larrys might be low effort Larrys low vibrational people, like who don't have a spiritual hygiene practice, so on and so forth, might spiritually attack you because they are being possessed. Essentially, they're being mounted, they're being possessed because they don't do the work to keep their vessels as inhabitable containers for these entities and energies, you know what I mean? So yeah, just do your best to protect yourself right now. I was gonna go out. This weekend was looking mad fleeky. It was a lot of cute ass little parties that I was gonna go to. Just like, it's a long weekend and like I'm gonna be busy with school, and like I made some new friends and I wanted to hang out with them before they return to Europe. And yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so cute before I like go back into hiding for the rest of like the year. But yeah, I do believe that like part of the reason that spirit made my ascension symptoms so pronounced is because I had a feeling I wasn't supposed to go out. I had a feeling that like I shouldn't be going to a party, because that can be very predatory, especially a party that's associated with like a major publication. Like I just had a feeling, yeah, that was not where I needed to be, because it wouldn't be like, because I feel like there are a lot of rituals and sacrifices that are going to be going on this weekend, especially as it is Labor Day coming up, and that marks like, oh, that's the unofficial end of summer, right? I just think that there's some shit gonna go down. And that's actually part of why I started doing this reading. Usually I would do this on live. I'm taking a break from like social media engagement, so I'm not trying to like go on live and pick up on other people's energy right now. But yeah, this is the cosmic tea. I would really recommend just be very careful, like being in large crowds of people, large groups of people, because it's a feeding frenzy is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the word trough. Like, it's a fucking feeding frenzy, bro. Like, these entities are really trying to get it in before, like, the cutoff hits. So I would recommend just being very mindful to not avail yourself of that type of energy. It may be like, you may be like, oh, I'm so bored, I'm so tired of staying in the house. Look for something to do. Do something you don't do usually. Order a puzzle. You know what I mean? Like, call your friends. Do something. But if you can't even sit alone in your energy, like, I don't know how you're gonna make it through life. And don't act out just because you're lonely, right? I have a friend. We've been talking about this a lot. Love you, friend. You know who you are, and I'm sure you're gonna watch this, but I already told you this, so it's not shade. It's all love. All tea, no shade. And it's just like there's been this period of feeling very lonely. And I've been feeling that as well. And I have to consistently remind myself, like, even if I feel lonely, that energy is purging. I'm not alone. I have better friends in my life than I've ever had in my life. I'm in a better mental state, emotional state, spiritual state than I've ever been in my life. Yeah, there's like some interpersonal issues that I have. Yeah, like materially things could be better. But like, ultimately, when I really look at it bird's eye view, 360 degrees, like I'm doing a lot better than I've ever done. You feel me? But so she was like considering like hooking up with people who she knows are not on her level. She knows they're not on the same rank as her spiritually. They're just regular people, I guess. And even one of them, like, you know, I guess materially, I'll finish this example. They are activated, but they're not on the same level as her, and it's just not, it's not resonant, right? And I'm just like, that's a trap. That's a trap, babe. Like, I say this all the time to people that I'm engaging with in the ethers. I'll see you on the other side if I see you on the other side. I will see you on the other side if I see you on the other side. Oh, like, but I know that they're like ascending and they have the option to transcend and make it to new earth and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, they have the option. That don't mean it's like they're gonna take it though. You feel me? Like, everybody has the option to do better. That's a crossroads. But are they gonna do it? That's the question. So there's big time crossroads energy here as well. This is a lot of the temptation that people have been feeling. Just say no. You know better. It's like, oh, well, I haven't been with anyone in a long time, so let me just like go for some low hanging fruit or whatever, because I'm lonely and I'm bored. That's a very Sagittarius thing to do. Let me tell you, don't fucking do it. Because don't do it. Because that's how you get spiritual diseases. And also you get sexually transmitted infections and diseases as well. But yeah, if you've been doing hella work to cleanse your sacral chakra, you've been doing hella work to cleanse your energy, to purify. Yeah, like, I don't know how else to put this for you, friend, but you don't need to be jeopardizing that shit by like mixing yourself up energetically with people who are susceptible to spiritually transmitted diseases. They've got incubi in their field. They've got succubi in their field. They've got demons galore all up in their orifices and shit. That's who you're gonna hook up with, bro? I don't think so. One time I was like, this was like 2 years ago, I think. Probably at 3 at this point. I was like, yo, I need to get it in. I have carnal needs. I'm a young person. Like, I'm not trying to wife nobody right now because I was just trying to really focus on finishing school. But yeah, let me find a reliable, stable person to hook up with. And that didn't work out. That never happened. Which is why, like, anytime after that, like, anytime, I'm just like, oh, maybe I should download a dating app. I'm just like, you know that's not going to happen. It's just going to be a waste of your time. You know that you're not going to, it's not going to happen. So don't fucking waste your time doing this. But, yeah, like, one person I matched with, it's like, okay, you're hot, I'm hot, like, cool. We're both looking for something casual. But for me, I have certain standards, and one of those standards is like, you need to have a spiritual hygiene practice, because especially if you are like hooking up, you have other partners, like, I'm not trying to be connected to anybody else's energies. You feel me? I don't know those people. Right? And like, you will take on the energy of someone you don't even know if a person doesn't have a spiritual hygiene practice. I have TikToks about this. These were actually some of my more popular TikToks. People had a lot of questions about this. Why? Because in this culture of hookup culture today, like, people know better, but they don't do better. If you're gonna do that, that's perfectly fine. Do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Do what you want to do, but you need to be smart about it. Otherwise, I personally, if you're not being smart about your decisions, do what you gotta do, but be smart about it. And if you're not going to be, I don't want to hear you fucking complain. Don't complain to me, because I'm not gonna be nice about it. It's all that Saturn energy that I have, but like, and the Scorpio, the Capricorn, like, Aquarius, fucking like Jupiterian, Sagittarius, I'm not gonna be nice about it. You knew better and you didn't do better. So what do you want me to do? Coddle you? No way, Jose. at the very least, do spiritual hygiene. Cleanse your energy, purge your sacral, purge your root, purge your energy from anybody else's, remove cords. You got to be doing that shit on the regular anyway, especially if you have a high anointing. But if you're like hooking up with lots of different people, you need to be doing that shit. This is not a character judgment. It's just fucking true. And people who don't, I'm not trying to fuck with you because you got all kinds of like energies on you. For real. You know what I mean? So I asked him, like, do you have a spiritual hygiene practice? He's like, well, that's kind of like, I don't remember if he said that was a serious question or like, that's a personal, very personal question. It's like, it's really not. If you're hooking up with like multiple people, I just want to make sure that like you have a like spiritual He's like, oh yeah, I'm spiritual but not religious. I don't need to know that. I don't give a fuck if you're religious or not. I asked you if you had a spiritual hygiene practice. You feel me? And I was just like, it's like Frank Ocean said, demons try to body jump. So like, I don't have a problem with you doing whatever the fuck you do, but like, I'm just trying to protect my energy. So I am only really interested in engaging with people who have like spiritual hygiene practices. And I never heard from this person again. So much the better, honestly. So much the fucking better. But yeah, I would just not be interested in doing that. And I would recommend that y'all do that shit too. So I hope that I've made it very clear that like you just want to be very, very mindful. Like, you know, I've shared about this before. I haven't dated. Yeah, I mean, I went on a date, but I don't count that. I haven't been in a relationship in 5.5 years. I haven't been physically intimate really with anyone in 5.5 years, and that's as much time as I needed to like, one, figure my own shit out, figure myself out and know myself and know what it is I need and what it is I want. And two, okay, we're back. Temperance in the reverse. Yeah, so I hope that is like helpful information for anybody. Don't do things just because you're bored. Don't do things just for the hell of it. Like, I feel if you've done so much work on yourself, you know, respect and love yourself enough to like honor that and not backslide into karmic behaviors and patterns. Returning to this idea of like the Prince of Darkness, a new kind of psychopath is emerging. Here's how to spot a dark empath. It's not emerging. People already knew about that. The Father of Greatness parries the assault by evoking a number of entities who sacrifice themselves and are absorbed by the Prince of Darkness. However, tricked by the Father of Greatness, their existence now depends on the light they absorbed. Wow. Okay, the High Priestess came out here in the outgoing position, as you can see. We have Ace of Pentacles, Four of Wands in reverse, High Priestess. Yeah, so what I'm picking up is like, this is the final countdown. This is the final like battle, I guess you will say, between good and evil. Somebody may have tried to sacrifice you. Somebody may have tried to sacrifice you. They may have tried to sell you into marriage slavery, spiritual marriage slavery. They may have tried to, it didn't work. They may have, but like, you are ascending now. You are ascending now. You're experiencing ascension symptoms. Relief is on its way. You're about to receive the rewards of your hard work. It is about to pay off. All of their attempts to harm you are not hitting. The thing is though, they may have actually been able to like, you may be feeling like the effects of their like witchcraft magic that they sent at you. I would just recommend to do curse removals, do entity removals, all that shit. And also cleanse your house, because if you're purging and like you need to have like the window cracked or the door ajar, if you're purging, you may also want to sleep with a cup of water by your head or under your bed, so that these entities can like fall out into the water and you can pour it down the toilet or throw it out. But if you're purging right now, I got the 7 of Pentacles. It's the hard work. I told you, hard work pays off. Look at this, 5 of Wands in reverse, Knight of Cups. They're really trying to do some stuff in secret so that you wouldn't be able to come into divine union. They didn't want you to know your power. They purposefully broke your heart. Page of Cups. So they purposefully, you may have been like, okay, let me take my glasses off. One message at a time. My God. They may have been throwing magic at you and you may have been feeling a little bit of the symptoms, but that's just to know that that's what's going on. These energies are purging in your house, so they need to like get out of your house, but you need to be regularly spiritually cleansing your home as well. That is including like I'm so sorry, like I feel like shit. That like includes saging, spraying Florida water, doing an actual cleanse, like pushing all that energy out. That's what you gotta do every so often, pretty regularly. Okay. Now to the next message. For some of you, you were marked as the scapegoat of your family, but the thing is, like, if you're from a fallen lineage, like these fallen ancestors, energies and entities, you may never have interacted with them, but they've interacted with your like decrepit, is what I'm picking up. They've interacted with your more nefarious family members, and they told them to like sacrifice you spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and also physically. They may have been super abusive towards you. Trigger warning, you may have experienced SA, like CSA, you may have experienced IA, but you know, it could have also just been like really, really like savage, brutal abuse. It may be also that like you grew up with like a parent who really, really was messed up with substance abuse disorder, because they exacerbated how bad it was so that you would just have a really bad life. Yeah, they just like did everything in their power to, and you know, when you experience CSA and things like that, that is a sacrifice to the demon who accepts children's sacrifices. It was ritual abuse, even though the vessel may not have been consciously doing that. They were working through like these fallen entities were working through the person who did it. So they were possessed when they did it. Doesn't mean that they didn't do it. It just means that they were possessed when they did it. Even if it's like, oh, that's super uncharacteristic of them, it's like, yeah, well, that's why, because they were possessed when they did it. So it would be super characteristic of them, uncharacteristic of them. And they may say that they didn't, but it doesn't really matter. Your memories are what matters, and you do the healing for yourself. You may have grown up in a cult. You may have, I'm also picking up somebody who was adopted was in a cult. Yeah, I'm picking up that someone who was adopted was in a cult. And they used to maybe tell you that you should like not, that you were ungrateful. And they maybe even told you, this also could have been like a foster care thing, where then they adopted you, or you just stayed with them for a really long time. Maybe they adopted you and were like really abusive towards you, is what I'm seeing. Yeah. They only, trigger warning for this, like, I'm gonna flash my hand because this is like, if this is you, you maybe need to like buckle in with this message. So they may have only adopted you so that they could use you as a sacrifice. And they may have done this to multiple children. Whether or not they actively knew what they were doing, some of you, they actively knew what they were doing. Some of you, they were being controlled by a higher dimensional being. A being, they have a higher dimensional consciousness, but they are in a lower dimension, which is suffering. That's like seriously suffering. I know, because I'm not even fallen and I experienced that shit. Like, just descending down the mortal coil. But like these entities, like they seriously, like that's hell. So yeah, they may be being controlled by that, and like that's why they adopted you, whether or not they know that. It's like that episode of Atlanta, which is based on a true story about these two white ladies who adopted a bunch of black kids, and they ended up like killing all the kids and themselves. Really fucked up. But in Atlanta, in the show, the kids end up surviving. But that's kind of like what I'm picking up on. Yeah. Yeah, if that is you, I'm really sorry. That is really fucked up. And I hope that you get the retribution that you deserve. I'm also picking up like mouth-to-mouth contact. It's not necessarily that you like kissed someone, but it might be that like you put your mouth on something someone else put their mouth on and it made you sick. Trust your instincts with this. Trust your instincts with what's going on. Like whatever downloads are coming through for you, you need to like trust and believe that, and don't allow anyone to gaslight you. Knight of Cups. Yeah. Let your heart guide you home. Lights will guide you home, I think is the Coldplay song. Yeah, let your heart light guide you to your true home. If it feels familiar, like, oh, this feels like home, well, was your home even good? Because that might not be such a good thing. Eight of Pentacles, hard at work, your transformations. Yeah, they've been really trying to do like a lot of like work to sabotage you and steal your abundance and make sure that you don't come into union, because they don't want that, because it means that like essentially they won't be able to continue to do the things that they've been doing. So they've been trying to sabotage you like literally since you were born. I'm hearing that the lyrics from Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar, when he says, Hellcat, he says Hellcat, make a nigga sign his soul, I think. Or your friends sell their soul. Let me see. I've been meaning to do an intergalactic crystal ball episode about that whole thing, but I haven't gotten around to it. Euphoria, Kendrick Lamar lyrics. So like I feel like these people are actually like they're really, really ancient. It's an ancient brotherhood, an ancient alliance of just like fucked up stuff. Really fucked up stuff. One moment. I'm gonna just go with like the idea that I am right about that. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying about this person who's in the industry, they were tricked. They didn't know any better, and they did sell their soul, which is really sad, actually. Yeah, it's really sad because their arrogance and their hubris is the reason why they now have this problem. I do feel like there's a way out for them, but I don't know if they're gonna take it, and you don't know if they're gonna take it either. So I would just recommend, like, you gotta let that person go. I think that they were actually groomed by this cult to be this, whether their whole life or just part of their life, because they were part of the 144,000. They're not fallen yet. I think that their spirit team is still trying to save them. But this is not your person. This is definitely like 𝗪𝗶𝗱𝗁 working through them. 100%. 100%. Okay, he says, I ain't thinking about no reaper. Nigga, I'm reaping what I sow, okay? Got a Benjamin and a Jackson all in my house like I'm Joe, okay? 𝗪𝗪𝗁. Me his homeboys in them type sell they soul, okay? Everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your throwaway. And I might do a show a day. Once a lame, always a lame. Oh, you thought the money, the power, and fame would make you go away? So it is, if you read the newsletter from the week of the 25th, it is harvest season. Spirit is saying harvest season is here now. It's not coming in September with Venus moving into Libra. It's here now in the 11th house. Judgment, y'all, like harvest season. If you thought judgment, the season of judgment, the time of judgment was bad, I mean, you're reaping what you sow, okay? So what I'm picking up is that, like, this person they got through because they were allowed to get through. That's one thing. They were allowed to get through with a lot of ease because they knew that they were going to manipulate this person into being a weapon. And for whatever reason, this person, I don't know like what their deal is with their like ancestors, but like this person, I guess they just don't listen. That's what I was trying to say, is like they're not somebody who like they know better, but they don't do better, and they just like spiritually bypass and like use cognitive dissonance to just act like they are, they just are like, oh, that doesn't affect me, or like, oh, I'm not part of that, you know, even though they know. They just ignore that shit because it's easier to do that than to go through all of the changes that they need to go through to become the person that they need to be. if your spirit guides have allowed this person to still be near you in any capacity, this is why. Okay, this is why they are allowed, because their proximity to you is legitimately saving their life. And it is that deep. Don't ever underestimate like the gravity of this type of shit that we deal with, you know what I mean? Like and your healing abilities, your healing powers. If you are a light worker, I just meet people, I just wonder, like, what do you like? That's your cognitive dissonance. You know, I understand because it's like subconscious programming. I would recommend to you to listen to self-concept subliminals, but what do you think that like you are as a light worker or a crystalline or an indigo child, whatever you want to identify yourself as? Like, what do you think that you're doing? If you call yourself that, if you believe that that's what you are, and you believe that you're a healer, if you were born to be the chosen of your bloodline, if you were born to be a medicine person, what people like to call shaman these days, if you were born to be a medicine person, the medicine is in your DNA. It's in you. It can't be like, it's not, yeah, okay, I know how to apothecary. I've been studying this stuff my whole life. I know how to do all of that. But like, anybody can do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a difference. The reason why, like, you'll go to a certain place to get something from somewhere, right? I can make my own coffee. Let me put it this way. All right, I'll put it this way. It's the difference between getting soul food made by your best cooking favorite auntie or grandma versus going to a restaurant and getting soul food. Even if the restaurant is hella good, it's not the same as getting like soul food from your from someone who loves the fuck out of you. You feel me? So like, it's not the same as getting like, yeah, you can get a massage from like a massage therapist, but it's not the same as getting it from like your beloved partner or like your parent who loves you. You know what I mean? It's not the same. So think of it this way, like, you have the medicine inside of you. That's what makes you the medicine person. That's what makes you the shaman. Other people who don't have that DNA, they're not ever going to be initiated as shamans. They're never ever going to be initiated as medicine people. That's not going to happen. You're either the high priestess or you're not. You feel me? And that's like, that's the very important lesson here, is like, you need to trust yourself. You need to believe yourself, because there's a lot of insight that's been coming to you. All the things I'm telling you, you already know this stuff. Like, I don't even really need to tell you. It's just confirmation. But like, whoever this is for, like, you, for whatever you've lacked confidence. This person is still allowed in your energy because you're healing them, even by rejecting them, which I encourage you to continue doing. I encourage you, for both of y'all's sake, to continue rejecting them. Let's go back to to prevent. Okay, so this is why these dark energies and entities like latch on to you and to us. To prevent the light particles from returning into their divine origin, they counter by giving birth to two demonic beings, 𝗂𝗪 and 𝗪𝗪. Which, you know, I'm sure people are like, that's Enki and Enlil. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't care. Like, I don't care. As a strict antithesis of the pure light, the Prince of Darkness cannot create ex nihilo, but only by copulation. And that is also making a copy. That means that they are not actually able to create. That's why Cat Williams said it, like, the devil can't create anything. They can only copy. They don't have any power. They are not like the sun. They can't give life. This is why you have the sun in reverse here. And they want you to think that you're not the sun so that they can co-opt your energy and steal from you. This is very much giving music industry vibes, to be honest. To be really, really real, this is giving, like, I'm also hearing industry plant. You might have someone who's very competitive with you. They're an industry plant. You might be wondering why, oh my God, what I'm picking up is like so many of these people who are in the industry right now are like, almost all of them are industry plants. There's no, oh my God, this man just put his head out the window and it looked so scary and weird. There's no nothing. That's how I'll just say it. There's really nothing really going on for the most part. Give me just a second while I read my notes. This person was betrayed by someone very close to them, and you might be being betrayed by someone very close to you as well. All of next week is going to be like harvest season. I'm reaping what I sow, okay? Like, these people are really reaping what they sow. This is what I'm picking up. Some of these people are just gonna die. They're just gonna, like, literally die. Some of them, their children are gonna die. And I also want to say that for some of you, it's not everybody's gonna be, I feel like, so a lot of different people were, let's put it this way, a lot of like cosmic beings went through this experience of being sold in marriage slavery to these archonic beings, is what I'm picking up. I don't really know much about archons, so this is just coming from what I'm channeling, okay? They were sold into marriage slavery to these archonic beings, and this is not the same as like having a spiritual wife or husband. It's not the same. This is something different. Like, that's a divine counterpart, okay? A spiritual marriage, but to be in a false marriage contract, that's what's being purged right now. This person I'm picking up may have been put in one of those. I have been picking up that there is something sexual about it. So take it as it applies. But what I get the sense of is that they were attached to, in false syzygy, to an energy of the same energy as them. And they have to do this because that energy can't actually produce. So if it was a masculine energy, they have to be attached to a masculine energy. If it's a feminine energy, it has to be a match so that they can mask as that person and steal their abundance, steal their light, steal their energy. And also they're trying to get through the gates. Like, they've been fused. Or they were fused at some point. They're trying to get through the gates by having been fused to you. So they're definitely trying to get you to believe that, like, you're evil, or this person, this might be what they're experiencing. I feel like there's probably a lot of cross-watchers, but it also may just feel like a cross-watching, because if this person is actually part of your collective, which I do feel like, not everybody, but some of you it is, then this could happen to both of you. It's mirroring. The thing about it is, you're mirroring until you're not, and that is contingent upon your free will choices. You might be mirroring until you finally like make a decision and take action, and you might have taken the action to break the chain, to break the karmic cycle, whereas they may have taken the action to continue this karmic cycle, to continue this chain. And then you're no longer mirroring one another, and they go off. That's a fractal that they go off on. They go off on their own fractal. They go off on their own timeline, and that's their business. It has nothing to do with you anymore. You have to know when to say when. Sorry, it's like the purging. But ex nihilo, creation of nothing, out of nothing. That is to be a true creator, but they're not that. They're not that. I'm going to come back to this, but yeah, that's why they can only produce by copulation. And so they constantly, like, this is why they have to do the sex rituals. This is why they have to like do the sacrifice and steal people's energy. Remember, the life force is in the blood. That's why they have to do all of that like stuff, because they cannot create and like unless they do that. It's very demonic. And it is a bastardization of global indigenous practices. It's an inversion of global indigenous practices. I'm channeling, so just bear with me. Bear with me and bear witness. Yeah, so they may be like, there's a lot of them. There's not just one. Shaitan is the Semitic word. It shows up in Arabic. It shows up in Hebrew. Shaitan means the adversary. These are the adversarial agents. So when people are like, oh, like it's about Satan, and they think that's just one angel, or they think that Lucifer became Satan when Lucifer fell from heaven, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I would not listen to people like that, because it's just very literally not at all ever what was ever going on. So they don't know what they're talking about, and I would not listen to anything that they have to say. It's a lot of different fallen entities and energies that have chosen to continually commit cosmic crimes. And so they may be married to like this demonic force. You know what I mean? And you may have gotten out of a false marriage as well. They also, yeah, they've really tried to like do all kinds of stuff. And I feel like if you were in a false marriage, there's also something coming up about like a false marriage to the negative 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗁. Yeah, so it's just disgusting. I'm so sickened by all of this shit. I don't even want to think about this. It's gross to me. I can't even be in this energy anymore, if I'm being real. All that I know and all that is being told to me is like you just need to stay the fuck away from this person. Stay the fuck away from this person. For both of y'all's sake. I don't know. I can't tell you if they're going. Somebody's like, are they gonna get better? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you if they're gonna. They're at the crossroads. You know, God's really handling them. I feel like if you're so concerned about this person, you can pray for them. Go on and do your own thing and don't worry about them. Because it's none of your business. As long as you're doing the right thing, that's all that matters. Don't let this codependent shit, and that's what I was talking about earlier, that maladaptive Neptunian energy. And like I was saying, you might want to look in your chart at Saturn and like just look at Saturn, what house it's in, what sign it's in, and like study that sign, study that house, study Saturn, and how those things all relate to one another. That's 9 different things, okay, as they relate to each other and as they are individually, to better understand like what you got going on. And usually, in my opinion, what I usually tell people is, yes, the answer may be written in the sister sign, but usually it could also be written in the sign that is 3 away. So for Aries, it might be that the answer's not in Libra, but the answer's in Cancer. And I picked this up strongly because sometimes the answer to maladapted Sagittarius energy is not going to be found in Gemini. It's actually going to be found in Pisces. The same thing goes for Virgo and Pisces. When Virgo is being hypercritical, they need a broader perspective, a more open mind. Maybe they're gonna be taken to, the answer to that is not gonna be in Pisces, but it might be in Sagittarius. It could even be in Gemini. All right, so look at your chart and look at that stuff. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces in the 4th house. I already said what I have to say about that. But yeah, this person is in a cult whether they know it or not. And the moment that they just acknowledge what is going on for real, they will be able to liberate themselves. But they're looking for any reason to not actually do that because they don't want to lose what they have, you know. And vanity in reverse, carnal in reverse, permanent in reverse, haunted in reverse, and voodoo in reverse, and miracles. I think that's really good. You may have thought that this fuck shit was gonna last forever, but it's not. And all the magic that they've done and are doing is disintegrating, it's dissolving, it's falling, it's failing. They thought it was going to be forever. That's because they're stupid. And it is through developing humility. It is through the development of humility. Okay, get tested. There are a lot of karmic tests. So just remember, no matter what the question, the answer is always integrity. It's always Christ consciousness, crystalline, unconditional love, and unconditional truth. Okay, you're gonna tell the truth. You're gonna show up authentically, and you're gonna love on yourself like shit. Okay. All right, that's all I have for you all. I love you all truly and deeply. I hope that this was helpful for anybody. And I will see you on the flip side.